Both Donald Trump and Nikki Haley emerged from the weekend with victories, with Super Tuesday just one day away. And a powerful blizzard in California shuts down parts of a major highway. The morning rundown starts now.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world. This is the Morning Rundown.
Today is Monday, March 4th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kara Rucker. With Super Tuesday a day away, both former President Donald Trump and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley are touting wins this past weekend. On Saturday, Trump, the frontrunner for the GOP party, easily won caucuses in Missouri and Idaho, as well as a Republican convention in Michigan. On Sunday, Haley claimed her first victory of this election cycle, winning the Washington, D.C. primary. Haley, who lags far behind Trump in delegates, says she is staying in the race for now, but has not committed to continuing her campaign past Super Tuesday, when voters in 16 states will head to the polls. Speaking to NBC's Meet the Press before D.C.'s results came in, Haley did not confirm she would endorse Trump should he become the nominee, despite signing a pledge as part of the Republican National Committee's rules for the debates.
Have you taken the prospect, the possibility of endorsing him off the table at this point?
It's not anything I think about. What I have said
But is it off the table, Ambassador? It sounds like you are in a different place. Are people misinterpreting what you're saying? Have you moved to a place where you're no longer planning to endorse him?
Well, I think, first of all, if you talk about an endorsement, you're talking about a loss. I don't think like that. When you're in a race, you don't think about losing. You think about continuing to go forward. What I can tell you is I don't think Donald Trump or Joe Biden should be president.
Before we get to Super Tuesday, Trump and Haley will face off this evening in North Dakota's caucuses. Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to meet with a top member of Israel's war cabinet today at the White House. According to a White House official, Harris will reinforce the U.S.'s stance that Israel has the right to defend itself, but also pressing more needs to be done to protect civilians in Gaza. The meeting comes a day after the vice president spoke on the ongoing Israel-Hamas war during a speech in Selma, Alabama. She called for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, urging Hamas to accept a deal to pause the fighting for at least 6 weeks and release hostages taken during the October 7th attacks. A White House official saying Israel has accepted the framework of the deal, and it's now up to Hamas to respond. In her speech, Harris also called on Israel to do more for the people in Gaza.
People in Gaza are starving. The conditions are inhumane. And our common humanity compels us to act. And the Israeli government must do more to significantly increase the flow of aid. No excuses.
The vice president's sharp criticism of Israel's humanitarian efforts came hours after the U.S. launched an airdrop of aid into Gaza and days after more than 100 people were killed converging on an aid convoy. Palestinian authorities say Israeli forces opened fire on the group, while Israeli officials say they were trampled in a stampede. A new week means Congress is yet again trying to avoid a partial government shutdown. This time, the deadline is Friday night after a stopgap bill held off last week's looming shutdown. On Sunday, congressional leaders released details of the first 6 funding bills to be voted on this week. These bills would fund agencies such as the Department of Agriculture, Commerce, Justice, and Transportation through September 30th. But an agreement still needs to be reached on the remaining 6 bills, which include spending for the Departments of Defense and Health and Human Services. Funding for those agencies runs out on March 22nd. The Supreme Court could issue its ruling today on whether Colorado can remove former President Donald Trump from its ballot. The court announcing it will release one or more opinions today. Last month, the majority of justices seemed skeptical as Colorado argued its case for Trump to be taken off its primary ballot due to the 14th Amendment's insurrection clause. Colorado is one of the several states holding primaries during Super Tuesday tomorrow. As of now, Trump's name remains on the state's ballot, but the Supreme Court's ruling could determine whether votes for the former president would count. Extreme blizzard and whiteout conditions hit Northern California over the weekend, closing a nearly 70-mile stretch of Interstate 80 near the Nevada border. The storm led to significant traffic delays, stranding vehicles on the road, closing ski resorts, and leaving tens of thousands of homes and businesses without power. According to the National Weather Service, more than 7 feet of snow has fallen since Friday. Winter storm warnings have been issued in the region, and another foot of snow is expected. California Highway Patrol is urging people to avoid travel in the area. Finally this morning, Caitlin Clark has broken another record. The Iowa Guard is now the all-time scoring leader for any woman or man to ever play Division I college basketball, making history from the free throw line in front of a sold-out home crowd. Clark passed the late Pete Maravich, who held the record for 54 years. Clark ended the game with 35 points, climbing her total to 3,685 points scored. Now Clark's focus is on the Big Ten and NCAA tournaments. After that, she heads for the big leagues, recently announcing she will be entering the 2024 WNBA draft. These are your top stories for this Monday. Unbiased, straight facts, that's Straight Arrow News. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great day.